Richie Rich. I'm over here waiting on Freeislandgirl. But while I'm waiting, I'm going to share her video so y'all can see. What's up, Big J? I see you. This is her video right here. Hold on, let me stop that. Big J.
Peace. What up?
I'm about to share her video on the thing. I'm just waiting for her to come in.
Location. Have permission from the owner.
Call back in 2 minutes.
A little footage. We're going to speak with some women who work here and find out what that's all about. So here we go. Let's check it out.
This is her video. She's at a brothel. Oh man. Yeah, what's up? Hello?
Back in 2 minutes.
All right.
Some women who work here find out what that's all about. So here we go. Let's check it out.
This is her video. She's at a brothel.
Today, giving a special insight to what it's like in the Dominican Republic, in a small town, to work, to be a working woman. Some call it prostitute, some call it what have you.
Y'all still waiting for her to come in, y'all. So I'm gonna just show y'all part of her video.
You'll see subtitles in English, and that'll help you understand. Of course, we have the woman.
What up, Josh? What up, LJ?
But you're gonna get some real.
What up, Brooklyn?
Okay.
Yo, I'm here, man. Just putting out the letting the groups know.
All right. What's up, Freeislandgirl? What's good? Can you hear me?
Oh, you know what? Sorry, I need to put in my my earphones because I can't hear you. I think you guys can hear me. Hold on. My bad. What's up, Richie? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing? I got you up all late tonight.
You do. I was like, wait a minute. Let me get myself together here.
Hey, you on Dominican time too. You on Dominican time.
I am. I know. I'm an hour ahead of you guys. I am. How's everybody doing?
Hey, that ain't what I mean. When I mean Dominican time, I mean.
I know. Sorry. Had a little technical difficulty trying to figure it all out. My bad. A little late. I'm here though. Hi.
So you know Big J, right?
I've seen him on a video before, and I know he's a subscriber. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I actually spoke to you today. I left a comment. Yeah.
I saw that. I appreciate that. Thank you. You guys were checking out the video?
Yeah. I was letting them check it out. If y'all hadn't seen the video, y'all go. This is her link to her page. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to her page. You know, she's trying to get to 1,000. I know Big J is trying to get to 1,000. Also, have you made it yet, Big J?
Trying to. You know what? What am I now? Seven something. So it's an uphill struggle, Rich man. So please, people, them. I want to do lives. Please just click and subscribe. Right. Get your granny, get your mother, get your father, get your cousin, get anybody. Just subscribe, please.
Hold up. You brought some backup with you tonight? I see a lady in here, Carolina. Hey, I'm putting Big J's link in too.
Oh, no. That's the missus in Santo Domingo. She's I gave her the link. So you know, she watched the video today. Yeah, so I said that I'm doing a live. So yeah.
We got Misha Roberts here. All your people's coming over here. What's up with that?
Where is she? Let me go back up.
All your people's in here. That's your people's right there.
Oh yes, Carolina Beato. Yeah. That's my people's them. Yeah. That's the lady. That's the lady.
Free
That's
Island.
me lady. That's me lady.
Your friend?
That's me.
That's your friend, Free Island?
That's me, bro.
I'm just saying hi. She said she's saying hi. I'm saying hi to her. You know, just being polite, being friendly.
you bringing the ladies out tonight.
Yeah, good. We need the ladies. We definitely need the ladies.
Well, you
Canada,
know,
nice.
she coming from Canada. She up there freezing up. She freezing up there. Canada. Shoot, I had on shorts today.
Right.
I had on shorts earlier today. Now, you know, it's supposed to get 45 degrees tomorrow. So, you know,
Ooh,
what's the
chilly.
temperature down there?
I think it was a little bit overcast today. It rained a little bit, so I want to say like low 80s or high 70s, maybe. I don't know. Amsterdam, awesome. Martin, are you subscribed to my channel? Please subscribe. I need subscribers too. I'm trying to get to.
There's some Nathaniel people over here.
Oh yeah, I saw you on there. I told you, wow, amazing. Like it's a big commitment, right? Good for you. And you're married to his other subscriber, right? I remember that.
She's married to one of Nathaniel's subscribers?
She subscribed to Nathaniel's channel, and her husband is also a subscriber there. And I made a comment. I was watching one of his videos the other day, and I made a comment about that. You know how amazing that is. Married with 5 kids. That's no joke. That's a big deal. They're doing it. Yeah.
Excuse me.
So, have you ever been married, Island Girl, or close to being married, or what?
Yes, I've been married before. One time.
I would have guessed that.
So, how was that?
I think I could do better. when I do it again, I'll do better. You know, make a better decision next time.
All right. Well, let me put you on the spot. Last time I was nice to you. So, do you think a Dominican man will do better? That's the question.
At what? At marriage?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So let me just cut it right there and tell you. You can't just group a group of just say Dominican men like they're all the same, right? Like black men are all the same, or you know, women are the same. It's like it's all people. Oh, Martin, how nice, thank you. You know, everybody's different, and so are there some Dominican men who are cool, would be good husbands? I'm sure there are. Are there some who would not be good husbands? I'm sure that's true too. But that's true of everybody. So I'm not going to be just generalizing. I will say this: with some of the recent work I've done. My videos, I have learned that at least a lot of Dominican women say that they don't think Dominican men are very good or respectful Dominican women. Yeah, and I've had people tell me just like in like my personal life, right? I talked to a Dominican woman, 2 of them, a little while ago, and neither one of them is dating a Dominican man. They're both dating foreigners, and they said they wouldn't date a Dominican man. They have in the past, but they wouldn't because of the way Dominican men treat them, like whether it's like rampant cheating. Some of the women I talked to in my recent video, this prostitution video, talked about being hit. You know, that's really common, that Dominican men will get jealous and even kill them. You know, so those are really, really serious issues. But I don't feel like I can say all Dominican men are bad or good or whatever. I've heard certain things, both good and bad. But, you know, I mean, those things are very concerning. But would I say that only Dominican men do that? Of course not. I mean, unfortunately, that kind of stuff happens all over the world.
All right. Okay, I got a question out the gate for you. So explain the video. Why would you put that on YouTube?
You know what? Let me say this, because I've actually had some thoughts about that video. Before I put it up, I actually wondered if I should. And the reason I wondered if I should is frankly because of my safety. I wanted to, I was concerned, like, am I putting myself in danger by doing this? Because, you know, could I, like, make some people mad, or you know, am I stepping into some stuff I shouldn't get into? Because trust, you know, obviously that's not what I want to do. And my mother called me tonight. She's like, "Take that down right now. Take it down. Take it down." No, seriously, she's like, "You don't know who you're dealing with down there and all that stuff." And so I was like, "Oh my God, am I in trouble here?" And I've asked some people, and they're like, "No, because you're not saying anything negative about any particular group of people. You're just sharing what these women's experience is." So to answer the viewer's question, I put it up because after having been in Sosua and Cabarete recently and really seeing, you know, pretty much up close kind of what's happening there with all the men and the women walking around and all that, you know, the huge kind of prostitution that goes on there, I just wanted to do something different and kind of show from a different perspective, like what are the women dealing with? Because I didn't see anybody talking to the women, you know, at least in terms of really how they feel and what they're going through, or showing their perspective. So that's why I put it up. It's not to say anything bad about the country or anything bad about any particular people. It was just giving a different perspective on it. So, but what do you think? Do you think I'm safe? Do you think I'm in danger? What would you guys say about that?
Jay, you answer the question. Let me get you involved with it. What you thought about the video?
I thought the video was very informative, and I'll be honest with you. I did a couple of interviews with prostitutes. I decided not to pull it out, and the reason for that was that the whole backlash of Sosua, the whole exposing thing and so forth. I believe that when Freeislandgirl did put the video out, she would have more or less got away with it because she's a female. So it's showing that sympathy for another female. So I don't think she's going to get backlash from it, opposed to if a male was to do it. It will come out more of, oh, he's exposing. Not to say I've got a problem with the video. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a great video. We enjoyed it. It was informative. But like I said, I don't think she'll get in trouble or backlash from it, because from a female perspective, it's more she's, you know, understanding where another female is coming from. So it's sort of like that sympathy thing that females will kind of get away with in terms of a male doing a video. That's why I didn't put out my videos or my interviews with prostitutes, if that answered the question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll say this, Island Girl. When I first got on YouTube, and I'm going to give it to you raw, and throughout the time I've been on YouTube, I have always gotten some little, you know, kickback on stuff, you know, even from Dominicans, like Dominicans that I know. You know, they hit me up on WhatsApp. Hey, you know, hey, I ain't like that shit. So I kind of cleaned my channel up a little bit from when I first started. As far as your video, I don't think it's really putting a negative light on nothing. You just really let the girls give their opinions and you ask questions about it. You know, I don't really think you will get too much kickback. I mean, you probably will get people saying, why you make a video and this and that, but just keep on doing what you're doing. You know, I don't think it's a video that's somebody's gonna come after you. Or, I mean, you block the women faces out. You got permission from the owner of the place. I don't know how you pull that off, but so what was his motive for letting you do that video? I don't.
So I went with the Dominican man who knew the people there. I didn't personally ask anybody for permission. The Dominican man went and told them what I wanted to do, that I wanted to talk to a couple of women and, you know, and videotape them and asked if it would be okay. And I was told, yep, it was. I paid each of the women, not to tell me anything in particular, but just for their time, really, because, you know, I gave them each the equivalent of like $10. And you can see the video was less than 30 minutes long. So I talked to each of them for maybe, you know, 10, 15 minutes, whatever time it is in the video is what you saw. There was nothing more that happened. And, you know, I sat and talked with each of them just for a couple of minutes beforehand, explaining to them what I wanted to do. And they were like, yep, no problem, come on back. So people who were in the establishment, including some clients, saw me there and, you know, saw me go by. They didn't see me filming because, of course, we were in their private rooms at the time. But I did have permission and, you know, didn't seem like anything was wrong. And I asked the man who took me afterwards, because I had the same thing. I was like a little bit nervous. Like, should I, you know, do you think it's safe? I don't want anything to happen to me or my child. Like, God forbid, you know. And he's like, no, because you're not saying anything negative. You're not like pointing the finger. You're not exposing anything that people don't already know about. Their faces will be covered, so it's fine. And I actually haven't gotten any feedback from anybody either on YouTube or personally, like on my, you know, email or calling me or anything saying that's a bad idea. And I've let some people, like relatively high level people, know in the community. Like the mayor knows I did it. He's seen the video. You know, some attorneys here. People like, yeah. I have an interview with the mayor that's coming out next weekend. His interview will be up next week. But I asked him when I did the interview with him.
Oh, you interviewed the mayor?
I did. I had wanted to do it a while back, but but anyway, he had some stuff. Well, actually, there was a bus accident here, and one of his relatives was killed, unfortunately. So the timing just didn't work out. So we did the interview recently, and I told him about the prostitution video, and he was like, yeah, okay. He wasn't bothered because I didn't want him to think when I did his interview that I was trying to like roll him under the bus and show like, okay, well, there's prostitution here. I wanted to like let everybody know above board, here's what I'm doing. And so I didn't receive any kind of difficulty from anybody. And even today, when I share the video with people, like I said, some politicians in town, not just the mayor, but some other people, nothing negative came back. But your mother calls you and she's like, take it down because you're in danger. I was like, oh my God, should I take this thing down? But I mean, it's gotten over 1,000 views in 12 hours. So for me, that's a lot. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna get up there.
Yeah.
Especially after you do this video. So hopefully the guys will subscribe to your page. And see, videos like this is also good for the guys because now they can see, from the working girl's perspective what's going on. But I saw you when you was on the Daniel show. Now you said a lot of the girls was that they didn't like the lifestyle. It was something they have to do.
I never said that.
Well, the other girl said that. The other girl was getting into that sex trafficking. And do you feel like the girls was forced to be there or what?
I don't feel like forced, like someone came and took them out of their house or grabbed them on the street and put a gun to their head. Not like that. But I feel like because there's circumstances here, because they don't have much, in the way of choice or opportunity, they did what I guess they felt like they had to do, right? Both of them said, like the first one I spoke to said her father died, and it was her father who was caring for her, providing for her and her kids. And when he died, she, I guess, did what she felt like. Both of them said that they had worked like in restaurants, and the second one said she worked in a beauty salon, things like that. So they'd tried other things. But, the money they're making as prostitutes is a lot more than they're going to make. They'll make, 4, 5, 6, 7 times the amount of money, depending on how many clients they have in a day, than they would make waiting tables or cleaning someone's house or something like that. And if you've got 2, 3, 4 kids and you're trying to take care of yourself and everything else, I guess, maybe that seems like the best thing to do. Neither one of them wants to be doing that. The first one said as soon as she can get out of there, she wants to get a house and she's done. The second one really, really broke my heart because she's so young, only 26 years old. And when I asked her, like, what do you want for yourself? There was nothing. There was nothing. I feel like she's just been so broken by everything that's happened to her that, she's just like, whatever I'm doing for my kids. I was like, oh my God, like no hope. It was really sad. So no, but I never said that I think any of these women enjoys what they're doing. I don't think that's a fair statement. Maybe someone else thinks that, but I don't agree.
Okay. Do you feel like they are gainfully employed working there, or you feel like they really ain't making enough? Or?
Well, I mean, gainfully employed, they're busy. I think their work, I think they're making money, but like the kind of employment, is that what they want to be doing? Having some strange man after strange man after strange man come in there and like be inside their bodies like that? And like, no, I don't think they want to do that. I think they, well, I can tell you this. I talked to, as I said, a Dominican man in particular who told me about this. And he's like, a lot of them are on drugs a lot because, in order to be able to get through that, they just have to kind of numb themselves. And, I'll say this to you. He told me that, and I don't know this for sure, I'm just telling you what someone else said to me based upon his observation of the video. He believes that the second girl was actually on drugs when she talked to me. Because if you look at the video and you watch the subtitles, or if you speak Spanish and you listen to what she's saying, she started out by saying she had 2 kids. She said one died, and then she kept referring to her kids, like more than one. And at the time, I didn't catch all that, right? I mean, I was really trying to pay attention. And anyway, one of the terms she used, I just didn't understand. But it's like, it doesn't make sense. If you have 2 children, one dies, that means you have 1 child left. But she kept referring to more. And so he was like, she's kind of spaced out. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think they're of course, I don't think they're happy doing that. I think they're desperate and they're doing all that they know that they can do. What else are they going to do? And when I say that, I mean, sure, like I said, they can clean a house, they can wait tables, they can cook food, what have you. But to make that kind of money, it's not, I don't know. It's a hard thing. for women working, not prostituting. It's their choice, right? Casey, I hear you. It's a choice in that, you know, they could do it or they could not do it. I don't think they're being forced, like you asked me, Richie, but I think it's force of circumstance. You know, I don't know. What would I do in that situation? Would I do the same thing? That's very hard to say. It's like if you're starving, would you steal bread? It's wrong to steal. Would you steal? Hi, Lee. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
just feel that more emphasis is put on them because it is quote unquote a third world country. You look at America, you look at England, we have loads of prostitutes in both countries. Now, there's different circumstances for different women. You know, you have women that have been abused, raped, whatever, and, you know, they fall into that lifestyle by no fault of their own. And then you have the other side of the coin where you have women that, you know, they've chose to do it. They make loads of money by it, or it could be they're putting themselves through college or university. So it's a quick way of getting money. Now, like Freeislandgirl said, no one's forced to do this stuff. Just like in America and in England, no one's forced to do this lifestyle. These women choose this lifestyle. They do choose it because they do have a choice. Now, I understand, you know, they have to feed their family and they know they're going to make a quick buck. They know they're going to make $100 a day, and $100 a day in the DR is a hell of a lot of money, especially, you know, average Dominican earns about what, $250 a month, $300 a month?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
So a Dominican making $100 a day, it's like, so these women know what they're doing. And next thing as well, I think there's also two sides of the coin as well when it comes to men, because there are good men. And this is not spoken about enough. It's always, you know, oh, the prostitutes, the women, you know, they got to feed their kids, you know, they're poor. This is a third world. What about the men that go over looking for love and get jerked? No one talks about that. No one talks about that. And these are the same women that say they're looking for a good man, you know, they want to come out of their circumstances and so forth and so forth. And then yet again, it's that poor gringo that gets jerked over, gets his money taken away from him. And it's just like, well, you know, you're a simp, serves you right. I just always think there's just two sides to one, just the story. I do not. Now, do I condone? Now, I am a father of 4 beautiful girls. Do I condone prostitution? No, not in no shape or form. If I could click my fingers, all of these women that are doing it will have a different profession tomorrow. However, it is what it is.
I think in some ways, first of all, no, I think that's good. Let me just tell you really quick. When you were talking, Big J, I just got a text back from the mayor saying, don't worry, you're fine. So that's a good sign, I guess. I mean, you know, hopefully. But so listen, I think it's kind of like a chicken and egg situation. Like, you know, I mean, and so let me say this also. I think there's certain women, oh my gosh, sorry, I'm getting messages. There's certain women, I think, who at a certain level of what we'll call prostitution, maybe they're like more like escorts or call girls, right? They're the high level ones that are going out to the nice restaurants, and you know, there's that kind of thing. And I'm not, versus the girls who are like on the street corner or, you know, just trying to get whatever they can to make ends meet. I agree with you that some of these women are doing this professionally to buy a car, buy a house, get through school, whatever. And then there's others who are just, I think, facing desperate circumstances and are doing whatever they feel like they can do to just, you know, feed their kids. And so the women I interviewed, I think, are on the second end of that scale, the latter, not the ones who are necessarily really, really benefiting from this. So in terms of the choice aspect, I think that you're right as far as that goes. And as far as the men who are getting maybe duped, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who these women are who may be taking advantage of the men. They may feel like, what, they have it to lose. Who cares if they lose $100, $200, $500?
Exactly.
You know, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal for that kind of man. Whereas for me, like you said, that could be a month, 2 month salary. So does that make it right? No, but you know, you kind of understand what's going on. So it's a complex issue. I don't think there's just
It's a
one answer
double-edged
that
sword.
kind of,
It's definitely a double-edged sword, definitely. Because I think both sides are getting played. Because I've heard horror stories of, you know, guys going over there, getting in relation. Okay, don't get me wrong. There are some that are going to Sosua and are wifing up these prostitutes. They deserve everything and a bucket of water, right? So I have no remorse for them. That's what you get, you know. But the ones that are generally just literally going out there and just getting effed over, it's not spoken about. It's less sympathy. It's more sympathy for, oh, well, she's got to feed their kids. And I'm just not buying it. And especially with the ones that someone's always died in their family. You know, a Dominican man was beating them. Dominican men are so bad. And my thing, I've always, I'm Rich, I even put this to you in one talk we done. I said, if Dominican men are so bad, why Ono have 4, 6, 28 pitney for them? It just don't make no sense. This is why I don't swallow all this thing. That I'm not saying there ain't Dominican men out there that perform that sort of act, you know, beating on. I'm sure there is. Hey, there's Jamaican men that do that. There's American men that do that. It's a global thing. But every time, I only can speak from experience. The Dominican women that I have spoken to, oh, Dominican men are bad. They don't do this. They don't do that. But they don't say jack shoot to the Dominican man about paying child maintenance or nothing, right? But they want to trace down the person that comes into their country. They want to grab everything they can. And what they're not telling you is that they cannot do that to a Dominican man. They wouldn't think about doing that to a Dominican man. So, sorry, go on.
Well, I was going to say, and I don't, like, that's why, Richie, when you asked me the question initially, I was like, I cannot generalize about all Dominican men are bad, or, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's very individual. There's some who are bad, I'm sure, some who are great, just like with everybody, right? I've heard Dominican men, like, so Dominican women a lot of times will tell you, oh, the men are really bad, they cheat, like crazy, they lie, they will hit you, what have you. I've also heard Dominican men, though, tell me that Dominican women cheat just as much. And that when one guy leaves, she's got the next guy coming. And I don't know if that's because, again, it's like chicken and egg, right? If that's because the women feel like, well, he's out doing the next thing with his girlfriend or his mistress. And so let me make sure I have someone in here to help me cover my expenses and take care of me and the family or whatever. You know, I don't know. And I agree that, you know, if a man comes down here, a non-Dominican, if a foreign man comes down here and is sincerely just wanting to meet someone and, you know, find love and be nice to a woman, all that, and he gets taken advantage of course that's not good. Just like for a woman who falls in love with a man sincerely and gets played, nobody wants that. So, you know, why these people do it, I think some are straight hustlers, like everywhere, and some, you know, maybe they're just, that's the environment they've grown up in, that's what they know to do. And so, you know, that's what, like this, let me just say, so the girl Ruby, the second one I interviewed, I don't know anything about her other than what she told me. And I'm not making value judgments about what these girls said, whether or not it was true or lies, or, you know, I just ask them questions, they give the answers, and then everyone else can make the conclusion, draw the conclusion they want to. But I did feel like my sense of her was that, like, number one, she was just really broken and had been so terribly abused probably during her life that she's just kind of given up all hope. But she said some stuff at the end where I asked her, like, you know, would you go out with a man if he came and treated you really well and really sincerely loved you? Would you leave this life for him? And she would, and when she was basically like, no, I wouldn't. She said, because I've become so accustomed to this, you know, I'd find someone else who he wouldn't have to worry about leaving him, which means to me, like, I'd probably leave with the next guy because that's just what I'm, like I said, the environment she's been raised in. And so does that make her a bad person? I think that just makes her a product of her environment. You know,
can I touch on what sorry, what is your name? Sorry, because
it's okay. My name is Kelly.
Kelly, okay, nice to meet you. So touching on what Kelly said about the second female she interviewed, I clocked her straight away. There's a saying in psychology: keep people talking, they'll tell you more than what they should. And I was listening to her very carefully. And in hindsight, what she was basically saying is like, look, the money's good. I don't want a relationship. And next thing that I was really disgusted with is her mother. Her mother, her stepmother, is the mama san or the madam or whatever you want to bloody call them.
Right, exactly.
And she's basically groomed this young lady into this lifestyle.
That's what I think. Yeah.
So she is going to be brainwashed to a certain extent, but I just think she just loves the money so much. Like you asked, you know, if a man came, took you away from all this and just changed your life straight, I just think that she's been too brainwashed to even leave. Like she said, that sort of establishment.
She's comfortable where she
That's what she knows.
She's
well,
content.
Because that's what she knows. Well, I think
she can make
so,
$100 a day, just doing whatever she's doing and not doing no physical labor. She don't have no stress. She can go in there and make her money.
Labor, excuse me. That's labor.
Man, think about it. Think about it like this. I'm a guy, so I got more experience, right? But check it out. Hey, I lost my mind now. Man.
Bring it back.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, bring it back forward.
I'm gonna bring it back. It's coming to me. But what I'm saying is, women like that, they content on just living that lifestyle. It's easy for them. It's quick money. You say it's physical work, but I mean, most of these women, they had low self-esteem since they was kids. That's why they got into that business. You know what I'm saying? And they just enjoy doing what they do. Some of them, you don't believe that, but I mean, some of them enjoy it. Like strippers. Okay, a stripper, she may not enjoy dancing, but she enjoys the quick money.
I've had quick money. If I find a bag of money on the ground, I'm sorry, I'm saying, who doesn't enjoy quick money? If I find a bag of $10,000 on the ground, it's like no risk to me. I enjoy that. That's great. I'm up 10 grand, right, for doing nothing. That's quick money.
Oh, Nathaniel, please come in. Come in. I've been wanting to talk to you. Come in. Sorry, Kelly. I've been wanting to talk.
Okay.
Please come. Come. Sorry, continue. My bad.
Oh my goodness. No, it's all good. I think so. For example, this woman we're talking about, the second one I interviewed, we'll call her Ruby, right? That's what she calls herself. And to say though that she likes it. First of all, the woman who, like you said, groomed her is basically like her stepmother. Her real mother died. I don't know when, but her mother died. And this other woman, I guess, was like a friend of the family who had this business, this brothel business, and took Ruby in. And, you know, that's what she knew to do. Ruby did get married. Sounds like she was very young. And her husband died. I don't know what the circumstances were, but he died. And she said when he died, she had to work to figure out how to take care of herself and these kids. She's only 26. She's been doing it for 4 years. So, you know, she was young when this whole thing started.
My daughter's age.
Right. How much more? What did she really know? What were her skills? Who was guiding her? What were they telling her? You know, this woman who's like the owner of this place, what's her whole background? Was she doing it too when she was young? I mean, is this like a generational thing that's just what they've been all told to do? I mean,
she also said she was a cashier.
She likes it. Yeah, and so let me tell you something.
That's confusing, man.
No. Let me explain to you at least what I saw, right? I saw her receive money from a man while I was sitting there talking to her. The man came over, she counted it. It was 2,000 pesos, which is $40. That same man, I saw him ride in on a scooter or motorcycle when I came into the place, right, with the guy that I went in there with. And he rode in with a girl on the back of his bike. And the guy I was with, who's Dominican, told me, you see that girl right there on the back of the bike? She's a prostitute. And they've just been out at his place or wherever they went to, not at the brothel, but someplace else, to do what they do. Because here, apparently, you're allowed to take the girls out. You pay a little bit more, but you can take them out to your house or the hotel or whatever, and then have your experience there and then bring them back. So when I was sitting down talking to Ruby before we did the interview, he came over, he gave her this money, she counted it, and that was apparently for having this other girl out, you know, on a job. So that's what she means by being the cashier. And maybe she does. She also went and I guess she serves like beers or whatever, so that kind of thing. But I assume that's what she's talking about. She's not like behind a booth, you know, ringing the register. She's getting the money from the clients. And I think it's because her mother, her stepmother, whatever, you know, as the business owner, gives her, you know, that's another part of her job. So It's a trip, though. I mean, I stayed up a couple nights thinking about Ruby, like, oh my God, this poor girl. I just hope she's safe and that somehow
Man,
that she could have some different life. I don't know. Terrible.
she's not in danger. She's there because
Rich, she's a
she wakes
female,
up.
so she's
She wake,
she's gonna feel sorry for her.
You guys don't have any no sympathy. You don't care. It's like
Oh,
whatever. She's just making the money, so that
no,
means
no.
it's good.
I do got sympathy for women, but you know, at the same time, like, all right, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna put it out there. It ain't got
I want to
nothing.
give an example, but
No,
go ahead, Rich. Go
listen.
ahead. Go on.
This don't have nothing to do with women, right? I had a
No.
neighbor today. He came over. Long story short, he told me a long story, right? And I'm really going through a rough patch right now. This guy's in his 50s now. I'm 42. He's probably like 55. And he was telling me all his problems. So just like you said earlier, Jay, the more you talk to people, then you figure out their problem.
Mhm.
So towards the end of the conversation, he said, oh yeah, you know, my girlfriend, you know, she lived like way out. He like, yeah, you know, I pay a cable bill and a light bill. And he told me early in the conversation, her place is paid for. So I'm thinking in my mind, you're going through a rough patch. You got a girlfriend. You paying light bill, gas bill, whatever you paying. So why you don't ask her for money? That's what I asked him. And he said, well, man, you know, man. So that's why I say, man, people, they make their own bed a lot of times. And the more you talk to them, you'll find out the truth. And some people, they create their own situations, man. Like if you're a working girl and you've been in this brothel every day making $100, at the end of the week, that's $500. Most Dominicans work 6 days a week, 6 or 7 days a week, right? So you should be making at least $500. So you mean to tell me if you're making all this money, you can't create that into some type of business in the Dominican Republic? Like you can't turn that into a business. You can rent a booth in the Dominican Republic for probably $200 or $100 some places. You know,
Watch my
like come
interview with
on.
the mayor. Watch my interview with the mayor, because one of the questions I asked him is about the prostitution here and what the government can do to help these women. So I'm not going to tell you what he said, but watch that interview. And it's an
He
interesting
ain't gonna do
answer.
nothing. He ain't gonna do nothing. You know why? Because it's legal over there. He's not gonna do. They're gonna still continue doing it.
No,
They're
he
not gonna
didn't say
do
he was going to
anything.
shut it down. He didn't say he's going to shut it down. But based on what you just said, Richie, about
No. But in terms of, I mean, well, obviously, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're kind of sort of like saying, oh, it might be like alluding to, oh, it's something good. I don't think they're going to do any good for these people. I don't think they're going to do any good because the government doesn't care.
What I'm saying is that the point that Richie was making, I think, about, if the women save some of this money and then start a business or buy a house or do whatever, then that is them making a different decision to get, like the first woman said, I want to buy a house. So she sounds like she's stacking her money, and when she can, she's going to get a house, hopefully. Maybe they do start to get, intoxicated by this money, and it's just so good, and then they lose sight of the fact that what they're doing for it, kind of selling their soul. Maybe they're actually trying to, save the money and, put their kids through school or buy a house or take care of their family. I don't know. But yeah, it is a choice, right? That you could do something different. So
can I ask Kelly a question?
Yes.
First. Kelly, you put out a video not long, actually, it was the Sosua video. You went to Sosua with your son.
Yeah.
The question I wanted to ask you, did you know what Sosua was all about before you got there?
You want me to
I'd
answer
heard
that?
about it. I'd heard about what it was. I didn't know to the extent, and I'd been to Cabarete before. I had not been to Sosua before, but I'd been to Cabarete, so I did know. But
so you heard?
I'd heard about what it was. Yeah. Well, let me just tell you this. So having been to Cabarete before, I saw some of the sex trade. I call it sex trade. Like I saw like older European-looking men, white men, with much younger, apparently Dominican women, like brown, pretty women, walking down the street, like having dinner on the beach. It wasn't like Sosua. There were so many people. It was like just a frenzy, right? So in terms of like taking my son, because I had someone ask me, why would you take your son there? And I was like, well, number one, I didn't know it was going to be the extent that it was when I got there, because what I saw before, he was with me and it wasn't like obvious. It was just a couple of people walking around, but I knew, at least I suspected that's what it was. And when I did find out that it was at that level, we left the very next day. we left because I didn't want to be in
Right.
that environment.
I didn't quite finish what I was getting to. Right. So what I'm getting to is this
sorry, okay.
is to me. No, it's okay. You don't owe me a punch.
Hey, hold on, let me give a
obviously-
shout out. Let me give a shout out to T-Love real quick. Appreciate that super chat, man. He says, keep up the good work, Richie Rick. Hey, California love, what's up? Well, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, sorry. That's why the reason why I asked if you knew about Sosua or the goings on there. Fine. I mean, I'm a parent. As I said, I'm a father to 4 girls, grandparent to 2 grandchildren. When you went there, you had your son with you, and I remember you were saying, oh, there was this guy that was saying very foul things. I think it was one white guy with some ponytail
in a restaurant.
Yeah, I think it was Bailey's he was in.
It was Bailey, and it was the morning. We went like for breakfast, basically. It was like 11 in the morning. Yeah.
And he was being rude to women or speaking to women in a prerogative way. Now, my thing is this. Now, and I understand that you didn't know the extent of, but a lot of people can take it as, okay, here's this woman, she's gone to Sosua, she's obviously there with her son to enjoy herself and spend time with her son. She knows what's going on. She knows that, what's going on. So she shouldn't really be surprised that vile things are actually come, because it's all around. My question to you basically is, why didn't you just get up and just leave, basically, knowing that all of this is going round and it wouldn't have been an environment for your son? Because I'm being honest. I'm being honest. If that was me and I didn't know much about Sosua, taking what you said, you didn't know much, you knew, a little bit what's going on, but you really didn't know the extent. As you said, you didn't expect a whole, and I'm putting words in your mouth now. You didn't expect, a traffic. You didn't expect a railroad station coming through. Now, if I was there with my 4 daughters, I would have been, I'm vlogging as well. Take that. I would have been like, you know what? Okay, it's time to go, girls. Like, so, because it kind of, and I'm just being honest with you, it kind of came off as though, because I was questioning, did this woman know what Sosua was about before she got there? Why is she shocked? Like, and I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. I'm sure loads of people, because I had dialogues with people, they were like, what the hell is she doing there? Why didn't she just get up and just go?
I don't think it's that bad down there. That. In my opinion,
I mean, I'm happy to answer, but go ahead, Richie.
I see white families, they be out at the beach, not as many, but you'll see Canadians and different people. They will be out there.
Yeah, there were families at the beach.
I don't think it's as bad. Like if you, all right, let me ask you a question. If you went down there, you didn't know nothing about Sosua, could you tell that it was, that was going down out there? Could you tell?
Well, go ahead.
No. Sorry, I was being rude. Sorry.
I guess I could. Yeah, I mean, I'm not naive, so I think if I didn't have any clue, I would pick up on something, right? It's not like women are bouncing up and down on men's laps and that kind of stuff, but because I did know what it was about, I was already tuned into that. So, but Jay, I want to address what you said because I think it's a valid question. I can see how people would be like, well, what is she thinking taking her son there? Number one is
it wasn't about you taking your son. No. Not at all. No. It wasn't about you because listen, I'm a parent. You were spending time with your son, and I can clearly see you were spending time with your son. And like you said, you knew what was, but you didn't know that it was that bad. All my question was to you is, as soon as you saw, why didn't you just, and obviously this foul guy with his language, all it was is just, why didn't you just get up and just leave? Like,
well, because the guy at the bar was just obnoxious. He wasn't engaging in anything. He was talking to the waitresses. He was just being a jerk to everybody. Like it was him and one other white guy sitting at the bar. And on the other side there was another white guy, but he was not involved, right? But otherwise it was just black, brown people, whoever, Dominicans and Americans at that bar area having coffee, having their breakfast, what have you. He was just being a jerk. So whenever a black guy sat down, he'd be like, "Hey, brother, how you? What's up, my brother?" Like that, like sounding like that, an idiot, right?
He was drunk.
Yeah, and then talking to the girl. I don't know if he was drunk or whatever, but he was obnoxious. And then the women who were behind the counter waiting, like serving coffee and everything, he'd just be like, well, can I get some extra? And, ooh, yeah, I think you're looking good. It wasn't like obvious sexual stuff. So in terms of having my son there,
Okay.
it was just like a jerk of a guy. And then when he, did the thing with that other brother and like stole the ketchup, not stole it, but, went and snatched it and that whole thing, he was just being a jerk. But it wasn't like overtly sexual at all. And then after that, we walked down to the beach, kind of walked around the streets a little bit, then, saw some art, whatever, saw like the rollerblading contest that's also in that video. We saw the guys rollerblading. That was kind of cool. Walked down to the beach. That was all normal. There were families there. There were Dominican families from other places, like, white families. I don't know where they were from, but just regular people. I recognized that a lot of the women who were walking on the beach, like, I knew what was going on. But to a kid, there were just people on the beach. There wasn't anything like overtly sexual happening. So I felt like, oh my God, cover your eyes, or I have to take them away. It wasn't that kind of a situation. What did it for me?
Sorry.
Let me just tell you what did it for me was that when we went back to our hotel that night, there were women coming into the hotel having like a party in sort of the back area with other men, with I don't know if they're Dominicans, Americans, whatever. And apparently that's what happens. Some of these hotels, the women can come in and they do their mingling thing, and that's what happened. Now, it wasn't near our room. I actually I discovered it because I went out of our room to get some water for us. And when I was like looking back in the back where I heard some music coming from, I was like, oh, wait a second, what's going on? And then I was like, no, we can't be here. So we got up the next day and we left. Right. But at no point was he in a situation where I felt like, okay, he's seeing some sexual stuff go down, or it wasn't like that. So I hope that answers your question.
Shout out to Nakari Calloway, man. He said, get the likes up, fellas. Get the likes up. Make sure y'all subscribe to Kelly's page, Freeislandgirl. Make sure y'all subscribe to Big J's page, Big J's Escape to DR.
Yeah, escape. Yeah, that's right, Rich. Yeah, no more escaping to Sosua.
Please subscribe to my page. It takes a lot of work to do these YouTube videos. I don't know if people really know. It takes a lot of work and time and effort. Oh my gosh, all the editing. Well, I don't even do the editing. I have someone who helps me, thank God, because if you see my earlier videos, you can totally tell the difference. But going out, planning these videos, talking to people, paying money. I had to pay to travel to Sosua. There's a lot that goes on, all the analytics behind the scenes. It's a lot of work. It's not just like talk to a camera and go. So thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for the support to everybody here. It means a lot because we're working at this. It becomes a job, really.
All right. So Kelly, what bothered you the most about going to Sosua? Because it was a lot of black men, or it was a lot of men? What was the biggest issue?
It wasn't for me that it was black men. I could have been equally bothered if it was white men or Asian men. I just didn't want to be in that kind of an element. Like, that's not how I want to spend my time around that kind of a situation. As Jay said correctly, I went to Sosua for the weekend just to get away from my town with my son, just like, change of scenery. And even though I knew Sosua had a reputation for prostitution, I didn't think it was going to be like front and center in our faces quite like that. As I said, because I'd been to Cabarete, which is, as 10 minutes down the road, it's right next door. And what I saw was just some people walking around, like couples, but I knew what was going on. And my son was with me then too, because I was teaching here then. And we went with another professor for like a weekend just to hang out. And I saw it, but it wasn't anything that I think, you asked me like if I didn't know. If a kid doesn't know, it's just people hanging out. Right. So I wasn't thinking it was going to be someplace, oh my God, was going to be a bad element for him. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, no, we're out.
Y'all, I put Big J's link in
thank you, Dap,
in the chat, and I also put Kelly. If you subscribe, go ahead and put subscribe. And
Kelly, question: have you subscribed to my channel? Because I've subscribed to yours.
No, but I will. I will. Yeah. No, I don't even know if I knew that you had a channel, but I will.
Thank you.
What's up? So will you go back to Sosua? I mean, you didn't enjoy the food out there. You didn't enjoy, everything else, the beach.
No, actually, I did have some good food on the beach. I had some really good fish on the beach. And that restaurant, Bailey, where that obnoxious guy was, I just had like some toast and some coffee that morning. I wasn't really hungry. But I would go back to Sosua, but I would, excuse me, I want to see another part of Sosua. I'd like to do a video about other stuff in Sosua, the beautiful mountains or some great, excuse me, great restaurant, some culture. That what I saw wasn't culture. It was just, what you can see anywhere. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that. So yeah, I actually look forward to going back to Sosua, Puerto Plata, all that. I mean, it's a beautiful country, and so there's a lot of history and culture that just gets completely overlooked by all this other focus on prostitution.
Did the brother try to holler at you down there?
I think listen, interestingly, I think I was very, very easily identified as not a prostitute. And so no, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Oh, so you saying they holler at you because you was a regular?
I'm serious. No, I'm serious, because I just had on like regular clothes. The women who were like looking for business, are dressed with all the tight stuff and, boobs revealed. And, it's like everything is showing or making you want to know more about them physically. I wasn't dressed like that. I was just dressed like, a normal person in regular clothes. And I look cute because that's how I do. But I wasn't trying to like display my goods for sale. So no. But I would tell you, I mean, ordinarily, do Dominican men speak to me? Yeah, of course, like men and women do, but not in a way that they think I'm, a prostitute. No.
Right. Okay. So yeah, they supposedly right now what's going on in Sosua, they moving all that, the prostitution stuff further on down the street. So they shutting down a lot of the bars and stuff like that.
Well, I got a message
I don't think you can identify them though. I have to disagree with your statement, Kelly. But I'll let you continue.
Maybe. No, I don't know. I mean, it could also be because I had my son with me, right? So maybe that was like a tip off. I don't know. But I want to say this about them relocating things in Sosua. I got a message from someone I know who lives in Sosua, a man, Dominican man, who told me just today, and he saw the video too. He said that they are in fact moving a lot of those businesses out of that beach tourist area because they want to, reclaim it for families and just tourists who just want to come and do regular tourist stuff, play in the water and whatever. And they're setting up basically like a red light district, like in Amsterdam, where people go. I think he said it's closer to the mountains. I have to listen to the message again. But it's in another part of town. They're not going to shut it down because it is legal. It is a big business for a lot of people here. And so they're just going to relocate it so it's not taking over that whole main area where just regular tourists want to come and hang out. So, but he referred to it as a red light district. So we'll see what happens.
Right.
Controlled environment.
Exactly. And probably also away from other businesses that don't want to be associated with it. Like, if you just a regular mom and pop restaurant, you're just trying to serve food, but you got prostitutes and people, it's like, okay, you may not want all that. It may be bad for your business in a different kind of way.
I just think the government just wanted 2 lots of money. They want 2 lots of tourists coming in. They want the mummies and daddies and the family coming in, which is fair enough. And they want the red light district money, which is fair enough. So
like with us, we left. They would have had nights in a hotel, but I left. And so that's exactly what happened. It has an effect where people who just want to go and have a nice time on the beach with their family do not want to be around all that. And so I'm sure if I left, other people are leaving,
All right, you got a question. Okay, posted this like 10 times. Hey, Kelly, do you have sympathy for Dominican men that have sex with foreign women for, I guess he meant money? If
Dominican men pay for sex with foreign women. I don't know about Dominican sex paying for sex for foreign women.
He's saying women come down there and they pay Dominican guys for sex.
Dominican guys get paid. Yeah, do I have a problem with that? How you feel about that? I mean, that's between them, I guess. Usually in that case, it's older women, from either America or European countries, white women typically, who, otherwise couldn't probably get a young, good-looking Dominican guy. And I mean, I guess if that's what they want to do. But the difference to me is that that's not like these guys are, sort of under the, like in one of these prostitute, what do you call it, like a brothel, working for someone. They have these rules that they're just on the beach meeting women, doing what they want to do. And often, like I know a woman, a French woman, much older woman, who told me she had a Haitian boyfriend, and I actually saw who he was. She told me this was last year. She said, "Yeah, but I'm just getting tired of paying for everything because whenever they went to dinner, she had to pay. Whenever they went and did anything, she had to pay." And so she was getting what she wanted out of it. She was getting sex, but she had to pay for all of that. I don't know if she gave him money. She didn't tell me that, but she did say that she paid whenever they went out.
So how you feel about women paying? How you feel about women, expats paying guys for sex down there? Because that goes on
I mean,
a lot more than you think.
it does. No, I think it goes on quite a bit. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, that's a personal choice that two adults are making. But I don't feel like the men in that case are. Well, I don't know. I mean, do they have a lack of opportunity too? Yeah. Do these men want to have sex with these old wrinkled up women? Seriously. I mean, if these men had the kind of education and job opportunities that a lot of other people have, all three of us probably have, they wouldn't want to sleep with these women. Maybe some of them would, but a lot of them would not want to be sleeping with these wrinkly old women,
I
right?
don't know, man.
But
Older, Kelly. I seen young chicks on the plane coming out
some of
there.
the young ones, though, but some of the young ones aren't paying. Well, I don't know. I mean, listen. I don't know what goes on in people's bedrooms. I don't know, but I think some of the
Hey,
young girls, like the spring break type girls, are they paying the guys? I don't know. Maybe they're just having a good time. And then, but Jeter also asked me,
a
have I
lot
ever
of
paid
those,
a guy for sex?
a lot of those
So wait,
girls
I have
are
to
getting
say,
induced, Kelly. A lot of them are marrying those guys, bringing them back to U.S.
Yeah.
I know a
I
girl.
seen
I know a
cases.
Canadian girl who married a Dominican guy. She's still married to him, and you know, I don't know about the
Some
dynamics
girls
financially,
come
but I
down
know that
for the
she
girls,
owes him.
Kelly. They got girls that
I
come
mean,
down for the girls.
I guess so. I'm sure it all happens. Wait, but to somebody who asked me if I ever paid to have sex with a man, are you serious? Of course not. Like, why would I do that? I think people pay for sex when there's evidently a need to pay for it. They feel like they cannot get it otherwise. That's why I'm saying I don't know that a lot of these young girls are paying for sex because they can, get it anyway. Now, are they going to like buy drinks for the guys when they go out? Yeah, because the guys don't have money to be buying you drinks all night. But I mean, if it's a young,
They be drinking all
seriously,
night. What I do?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have that much information, honestly. I don't have that kind of inside scoop on everything. But what I typically see is older women with younger guys, older men with younger women. And with I see that is what I think is absolutely an
Not in
exchange
my
going on.
case. Not in my case. I'm
No,
not in
you
my
don't.
case. No.
Okay, all
I
right. Well,
don't
you're the
like young
exception.
women. I don't like young women. I go for women my age or older. I think the youngest woman I will go for.
26.
No, man, that's way too young. Way too young. I don't go below 30. I don't even go below 35. If I go below 35, you'd be lucky. So I think it doesn't pertain to everybody. I mean, don't get me wrong.
But are you getting
She's
paid?
right in a
But are you
certain way.
getting
There are
paid by these
certain
women?
men. Say that again.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
I said, are you referring to women as you're getting paid by?
Me getting paid.
Exactly. That's my point. You're saying you don't go below 30, but are you like having women pay you for sex?
That would be the best job in the world. If I got paid for that, if I'm earning what they're earning, $100 $200 a day, sign me up. But no, that's not what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying in terms of dating women, I don't go no lower than 35. I'm not really into the mongering lifestyle like that.
Yeah, I didn't think you were saying. I just wanted to be clear. So, but my point is the same thing. I don't think that the younger women, who are typically more attractive just because they're younger, are paying these guys. I know of an older white woman. She may have been. I think she's Canadian or something. I don't know, but an older white woman who told me that she was having sex with a Dominican man who was married. She knew he was married or is married or something, and she paid him. And I guess after a while, I think he got tired of it, and or maybe his wife did. I don't know, but they were getting the money. He and his family were getting the money initially, and he'd go by and he'd have sex with her, and she enjoyed it. And I guess because he kept coming back, and then I think it's over. So I think that I mean, some of the older women are paying for men. Yeah, I mean,
man, it's like this, Kelly, man. It just seems like guys, when you get older, yeah, you want a younger woman. And for females, when you get older, you want a younger man.
Not all of them.
Oh,
not all of them want younger. I'm serious, they don't. Some men prefer older women, and I don't mean like old and crotchety and wrinkled up women, but I mean some men prefer older women because they're just more mature. They're more sure of them. They're more sure of themselves. They're not going to play a bunch of silly games. You just have a woman who's a little bit more established and kind of you can just even have a conversation with her. You know what I mean? It's a more mature relationship. So some guys want a younger girl, maybe just to have fun or whatever. But it depends on the person,
I have to agree with that one, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, different strokes for different folks, you know.
Yeah.
So, man, you don't want somebody. If you're 40 years old, you don't want a girl that's 20 and y'all can't hold a conversation. What y'all gonna talk about? The Migos. But people do it though, you know. And I see a lot of guys, Canadian guys and European guys. Man, they have these real young Asian girls, man. You see a lot of that?
What, the European man them?
Yeah.
Listen, I see enough of them with, listen, yo, some of them have to look upon them, you know, and say, me want to box them. Because when I look at certain gal, I say, no, she's not of age. Enough. And
Right.
you know what? That's the joke.
And
Yeah,
they
that's
get
the
away
joke.
with it.
Thank you. Thank you. They're going on about this whole Sosua thing, you know, because let's face it, innit? The black man are getting the backlash for all of this, right?
Right.
But they don't look at the real F3, what's going on. And I've seen certain things. I've seen certain, like, okay. So I think it was I'm not going to mention his name, but I was sitting at a bar. And a brother said to me, so I was there, I think it was like, I think I was over there like for my 3-week month. So the brother said to me, he goes, oh, so how you enjoying? I'm like, yeah, you know, I've been there for 2 weeks, you know, it's cool. You know, I'm just sort of like getting into the groove of things. So he says to me, have you noticed anything like funny? So I said to him, oh, what do you mean like funny? Like, you need to elaborate. So he goes, like, you know, funny, like these European man. Like, have you noticed that sometimes you just see a Monte Concho, you might see a little black boy in the back of the scooter, or you might see a little black girl. And I'm thinking,
Oh,
you know what?
Oh, God. Yeah.
I kind of seen that more than once, but I didn't even batter at. My mind went like, yo, where's the mother? Where's the father? But my mind just went, okay, maybe he's dating the mum, or maybe, you know, whatever.
Maybe
So I
the
didn't even
son.
really go into that too tough. But the brother told me, sir, he was in an apartment and he's renting down there, and the European neighbor, he see a couple of youths come out the European neighbor's yard. So when he saw him next day now, the guy tried to explain to him. So he told him, I said, well, yo, you don't need to explain. The fact that you need to explain that just shows me straight away that you're guilty as shit. So I think he moved. I don't know if he moved apartments then or something, but he just got put off by the whole thing. So they need to tackle that. You know what I mean? Allow the strip, tackle that, because, yo, just tackle it. But I don't think they will, so they're going to get away with murder.
You know, I've heard of that too. That's very, very disturbing. I heard of that too. And I've seen that. And just what you're saying with guys riding down the street on their motorcycles or their scooters, and there'll be like a child in front and a child back. And I'm talking about little kids, like, you know, 6, 7 and younger.
Yes.
And I had the same thought. I mean, that happened to me just the other day. And I was like, well, I wonder, you know, I said, well, I guess maybe he's dating the mother, or like, why does this white man have these little black children on his bike?
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, it's like, sort of normal minds won't entertain something really disgusting happening, because my first thought was, oh, I guess maybe he's, you know, dating their mom or some business. But I have heard too that there are pedophiles down here, European pedophiles. Specifically, I heard about a French man who had a thing for like young boys, and I was like, oh my God, my child, thinking of my son, you know, and like, let me make sure he's not out. You know, I'm not worried about the Dominicans. I'm worried about the Europeans, because they come here. There was an article in the paper not that long ago, a couple months ago, about, I think it was an American man who got busted for coming down here, having sex with young girls, like known to be just coming down here, basically raping. And I don't mean like, you know, 18, I'm talking about young girls. There was another expat, a woman, an American woman, told me that there was a man down here. I don't know if he's still here or not, but apparently he ran one of the brothels. I believe he was Canadian. And he referred to himself apparently as the Hugh Hefner of the DR, and said he was like, you know, featuring young Dominican and Haitian girls. And, you know, so that is just highly disturbing. I mean, that's even more disturbing than these women who feel they have no choice, right? Because at least they're old enough to have, I don't know, seen something different. But you're talking about a child who, you know, really is defenseless.
Look at Island Girl getting it in. Look
Help
at her.
those kind of people.
Jay, you see her doing her thing.
Why are you showing all my videos? Thank you. My
Oh,
son
is that
said I
you
miss dancing. I
dancing?
got to get back to dancing. It's so
I
fun.
never know, so that was you.
Look at that.
Look at
That
his
girl knows a
screen.
little something about salsa. Thank you to the people who've subscribed so far. I just want to shout you guys out. I appreciate it. Please do keep subscribing. As I said, it's a lot of work we put in, and I appreciate all of you. I hope you enjoy the videos. I hope you learned something. I hope you're engaged and maybe have some thoughts being provoked, some opinions coming out. I'm happy to have you share them with me and get your feedback, what you think, what you'd like to see. So thank you.
Yeah, y'all go
Thank you for the
subscribe to her
opportunity to be
page.
on here and talk about all this stuff.
Y'all get it to them 1,000 subscribers.
Can I ask a question? You had the
That girl's busy.
this is to Kelly. You had the dialogue
I think
with
I'm frozen.
what's his face? Nathaniel. Ask Nathaniel. You had a dialogue with him not long ago.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And is she frozen or is she still here?
Thank you.
She listening? Go ahead.
Oh, she's still here. Okay. Yeah, she had a
Can you guys
dialogue
hear
with
me?
him.
I can't hear you.
Oh, she can't hear. Can you hear me?
You can't hear him,
I've ever
Kelly?
dated younger. Yes, I have. I can't hear you guys. I don't know what happened. I'm not hearing anything. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you clear.
I can't hear you.
Tell her to
I don't hear you.
go out and come in again. Go out and come in again.
Unplug my earphones and plug them back in.
Yeah, buy and come in again.
Hello, hello.
Yo.
I don't have any sound.
You can't hear me?
You know?
Anyway, to
Can you hear
answer
me?
your viewer, yes, I dated younger. Not like way younger, but yeah, I dated younger.
Have you ever dated American?
Not
Huh?
sure. What do I do?
I don't think she can hear us, you know, Rich.
Leave and come back.
You want to turn me, like, kick me off?
Kelly.
I'm not sure what to do.
Right. Go out and come back in.
What does that mean? I'm trying to read sign
Go
language.
out, leave
and
and then
back.
come
Okay,
back
thank
in.
you. Let me leave and come back. How do I get off? Let me see.
Hey, we need to get you on one of them game shows, man. You explain stuff. Yeah. I don't want to make it seem like an interrogation, though, but we got some good questions off. Any questions the panel got? Make sure y'all subscribe to Big J, man. Let's get these folks to 1,000, man.
Get me up to 1,000, man. You know why? I tell you why you need to, because I want to do some boxing live. But even though, don't get me wrong, it's still escape to the DR. But, you know, there's a lot of brothers that are going to the DR that are big boxing fans. Oh, want to give a massive, massive shout out to Wakanda, my family, for life. So,
I'm back.
Wakanda Brotherhood, shout out. I ain't going to mention who's who, but shout out to the whole family, Wakanda still.
Can you hear now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, she can hear.
I'm back.
All right. So what's your day to day? You working out there in DR?
I do work. I work from home primarily. I teach English. I have a class tomorrow. Let me see. Right now I'm doing Monday.
Are you teaching Dominicans English?
I'm teaching Dominicans. I'm teaching all Dominicans except for I have one woman who's Polish, and she's actually no. In my class tomorrow night, it's a Haitian guy, a Dominican guy, and a Polish woman, and then the other class is Dominican. So yeah, and I was teaching at a bank here.
So these guys, if they got some main chicas in the DR and they want them to learn English, they can come to you?
Yeah, they could.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't be telling these girls, hey, don't mess with these guys.
Yeah, what I was trying to ask Kelly before she come in and come out was she had a dialogue with Arx Nathaniel. Now we all know that Nathaniel's on this big quest, you know, to get people to stop mongering and traveling. I just want to get Kelly's feedback on Do you think he's putting out the right information? Do you think he's being two-faced? It's just her take on this guy.
All I can really say, I don't have a lot of information about what he's doing, other than what I've heard him say, right? Which is that one, he used to travel to the Dominican Republic. He's admitted that, and that he has paid for sex. I heard him say that he felt really, really bad about it when he did it, as compared to when he just met a woman or women organically, as he put it, and had some kind of relationship with them and had sex with them, that felt, natural and good, I guess, and in not just a physical way, but like in an internal kind of way. He felt really bad about himself after paying and just kind of, doing what he was doing. And so now, I guess many years later, he's sharing, I guess, that experience to help other guys know that that's not really leading to anything positive. I don't know that he's necessarily, well, I don't know that he's judging people, but maybe he judges in a way by saying he thinks it's bad, and he tells guys he shouldn't do it. I think he thinks a lot about the women and why they're doing what they're doing, and I think he believes that if men are, again, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but my sense is that his thought is that if men, I guess black men in this case, would put the kind of effort into doing what they're doing with Dominican women down here and with black women at home, that they'd have just as good of a chance of having a relationship there, So, but you have to ask him, do I think he's being two-faced? I don't have that impression.
Hey, well, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Do you think it's more men going to DR for prostitution than men in America using the prostitutes that's here? Do you even think those numbers compare? Do you even think those numbers compare? It's like 5% of black men got passports.
Yeah, well, I don't think those numbers compare because America is so much bigger than the DR, right? So I don't think that's a fair comparison to make. I think men everywhere seek out women to have sex. That's just how you guys are built. That's just biology, right? I don't think it's a bad thing that men want to have sex with women. I think, paying for it, it just depends upon, I guess, the situation in which it's happening. If women are really being like oppressed and it's terrible things happening, first of all, you guys have seen some of the places where this stuff is happening. It's like dirty, nasty little rooms. If a guy wants to go in there and do that, that says something about him, I think. So, do I think it's going to stop? No, it's not going to stop. I think as long as men and women are able to make deals. Listen, there's housewives, like so-called respectable housewives living in suburbs all over America and every place else, who are making deals with their men. They've made deals to get married. They've married men because they want to have a position. They've married men because they want to drive a Mercedes.
Right.
They've married men because they want whatever. They want to have their kids go to private school. Does that make them prostitutes? I had someone respond to me today, or not respond to me, but send me a comment today after she watched the video saying, wow, she was feeling so bad for these women and why would they make these choices? And she's like, but then again, how many men have I had sex for free? So who's making the better deal? So it's like there's all kinds of ways to look at this. That's why I said I don't think there's just one easy answer. What is this question about school? English school.
How much he charged to teach English to his chica?
Some of his mains. Is that how we refer to people now? Your mains? Does that mean like your main squeeze? How can you have more than one main? I thought main was main.
Rich, I wanted to ask that question. I know it's going to be. Could you explain this main thing? Because, in our track groups, it's kind of flat about. Please explain. Because, and let me just put, if a main means your main prostitute that you're sleeping with,
that's a damn shame.
Then that's a madness right there. I don't know how that's your main, because I tell you what, you ain't her main.
Hey, it ain't your girl, it's your turn, man.
Exactly.
Taylor May said, it ain't your girl, it's your turn.
Your turn, exactly.
I'm gonna do a video with Taylor May pretty soon, y'all. He promised me he's gonna do a video with me, so we'll see. You know Taylor May?
I talked to him, yeah, I have.
When you talk to him, Sosua?
Just on the phone. No, I talked to him a long time ago. He shut his channel down. I don't know if it's back up yet, but I know it's supposed to be coming back up at least. But I talked to him just as he had shut it down. We had a couple conversations back and forth, and so I hope to do a collaboration with him too. Be interesting to see what he's up to now. If his perspective has changed, or what his perspective even is on this. I'm not quite sure. So be curious to hear from him.
Okay.
No, he's been down here for quite a while, doing a lot of this, interviewing people, and I'm sure he's got a good sense of the culture and what's happening. So I'm sure he'd be an interesting person to talk to.
Right. Well, I know I ain't gonna hold you up all night. I know you say you didn't want to stay on that long, so.
You're not putting Nate on. I thought you could have Nate speak for himself. I don't know if he's on here, but I thought anyway.
Well, he told me he was a little busy, so
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, he's busy handling some things. I wish he would have came on here, man. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
He probably saw me and thought, nah.
Ran the other way. Ran the other way.
But it's all good. So you last time I talked to you, I think you said one time you was maybe thinking about going to a different country, or you set in stone out there.
Yeah, no, for now we're here. I don't have any plans to leave the country. Other than like summertime, we travel, that kind of thing. But no, we're here for now. How long will I be here? I don't know. Who can say what's going to happen in a year, 2 years in the future? I do think about possibilities for, okay, if I'm not living here, where would I want to live? And that always has a lot to do with my child, considering schools and a nice environment and safety, things like that. But no, I don't have any plans to leave the DR immediately. I see us here for, probably another year at least. I take it year by year. That's those are chunks I feel like are comfortable for me.
Hey, it's the end of the year though.
Where are you, Kelly? Are you in Puerto Plata?
No, I'm in this place called Las Terrenas on the eastern side of the country. A lot of Americans don't know about this place. It's mostly other types of foreigners here. I only know of 2 other Black Americans who are living in this town, and one of them just comes back and forth. Actually, I just met him recently. So,
well,
it's very beautiful.
He said he got 3 chicas. He need them to learn English in 3 months. Well, I guarantee you they know what 100 USD is. Brother Zaba.
Man, you guys are something with these women. I tell you. I just hope that all the men are treating their women well. Aside from money, I hope that you're treating them well. Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, these are people we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? I want you to meet Brother Zaba right here. He's in Santiago. Cool, brother. Cool, brother. So
No. Don't bring him in. No. Not after his rhetoric on the boxing page today. No.
So hold on, y'all got a boxing page now? I know.
Yeah, we got a boxing WhatsApp group for the boxing purists.
Oh, what's that? Just for boxing? Oh, okay.
Just for boxing, just strictly boxing talk. So that's why I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. So those who like to travel and that are into the boxing heavy, we're gonna dialogue, argue, fight, curse, whatever. Women are welcome to. Women are welcome because I watch women's boxing, so they're welcome to. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I'm there February. Yeah, I'm flying in February the 7th. So if it's possible, Kelly, I would like to do a collaboration with you and meet up with you if that's possible.
It's Sosua.
No. Well, if it's Sosua, wherever, Sosua, Port Plata, wherever.
Where are you?
He gonna get you a room in New Garden.
No, I can't stay there. No, I hate that place. So, what was you saying, Kelly?
I'm trying to understand what part of the country will you be in?
First, I'm landing into Santo Domingo. Okay. Then I'm gonna do a stop off in Santiago. Then I'm heading straight up to Puerto Plata via Sosua, going to Cabarete. So I'm there for pretty much nearly a month. So I'm gonna be sort of circulating. So what I'll do after when this live is done, if that's okay, I'll shoot mine, or Rich shoots your number over to me or whatever. Just add each other to the WhatsApp or whatever.
No problem. We can definitely do that. Yeah, I'll be happy to meet you February. It'll be good. Where are you now?
London. I'm a Londoner.
Are you in London? Okay. Oh, you're cold.
You couldn't tell from the accent.
Well, I didn't know Jamaican. I could tell that there's a Brit thing happening there.
No,
But
no,
I
no,
know
no,
a
no, no,
lot
no,
of
no.
Jamaicans.
Whoa. Word of
Oh.
advice to you Americans, and I always say, never call a black man from England British.
A Brit. Okay.
No.
They don't like
call
it.
you?
Yeah, English.
English.
Always
Thank
call
you,
a
thank
black
you.
man from This is the reason.
Tell me.
It's
Yeah.
right. So obviously you guys are not to know, you know. What it is that people calling black people British is an equivalent to almost saying that. I'm trying to get the nearest. You got a thing called a Tea Party out there that are full of racist people.
Okay.
So it's kind of similar. But people do get into the habit because it's Great Britain, United Kingdom, so they're not to know. But once you're in London and you're around black people, don't call them British. No,
okay, thank you for that. No, it's good to know.
Okay.
I definitely don't want to make. I don't want to make the mistake. I like to know. Help me. So thank you. All right. So English. I noticed the English accent, but I would not have known Jamaica unless I heard something else. But I know a lot of Jamaicans.
I came over as a young boy, so I've practically spent majority of my life here. So
former colony. I get it. Yeah.
But I'm a proud Jamaican. Proud Jamaican.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. What part of Jamaica is your family from?
My mum is a Kingstonian. My grandma's a Kingstonian. My grandfather was born in Buff Bay. So I don't know if that makes any. Well, my father. I
don't know Jamaica that well. It's been a long time.
Oh, you've been there, yeah?
Yes, but it's been years ago. So I'm overdue for a visit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're ever in there, we have a big guest house. So just let me know. Yeah, we have a big guest house. So just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah. And it is very nice. Very, very nice.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
So your next video is going to be with the male Sosua or what?
The next video coming out. Yeah, the next video coming out next Sunday. Next Sunday. I do them every Sunday. Is the mayor, not Sosua, the mayor of Las Serenas. Just asking about some general things. And I do touch on prostitution, so you guys can check that one out. There's a viewer who just commented about me relaxing because of the culture. And I do think that there's something to me being here as an American and being up close and personal, seeing this whole prostitution, all this kind of stuff, like really closely. It's not something that you see that closely in America unless you just have to be in those neighborhoods, whatever. But here it's so small, it's easy to see everything, any given day. And so I do think it's true that, I have to kind of step back and take my standards, what I'm used to, or what I think of as right or wrong or worrisome or whatever, and kind of let people live how they live here. That being said, I do think that, as a woman, of course, I feel for other women who are doing this work. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want for any child of mine or family member or friend of mine to feel like she had to do it either. So I appreciate the point. But, and I don't mean to, pass judgment on anybody. That's never what I try to do. I just like to get information and share it with people because I think it's interesting to talk about, maybe, give someone else, whether it's a man or woman, a different point of view, something to think about. So that's all.
So Big J, man, last words, man. What's your last words, man?
Visit the Dominican Republic. Visit the Dominican Republic. There's women all around. There's some beautiful women all around. Go to Santo Domingo. Go to Santiago. There's beautiful women all around. Decent women. If you fancy that sort of lifestyle, there's that as well. But there are women on the island where you... Listen, I've got nothing against man them doing what they're doing. Nothing at all. You know what I mean? Nothing at all. I don't judge. But like I said, if you're not into that sort of thing, maybe you might dabble in and out. Yo, just go visit the place, man. It's a beautiful country. Just visit the place.
It is. Yeah.
Visit the place.
So, hey, before you give your last words, Miss Kelly, I appreciate you coming on the show. I hope it didn't feel like interrogation, but we had some questions and you did well. Somebody say I always go soft on the women, but hey, man, at the end of the day, even, no matter what kind of woman you think she is, man, you always got to come with that respect first, man. No matter if she's a working lady or whatever, you should always present yourself as a respectable man, all right?
Thank you. I
So
appreciate
that's
that.
why I go soft on the women, because hell, I want them to come back. I don't want to just diss them and come on, man.
Right? Invite somebody to your house and kick them in the stomach. No, I
Right.
guess so first of all, thank you, Richie. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to talk about some of this stuff. I'm not sure what the viewer means, though. Like, what does it mean to go hard on somebody, and why? You know, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what, and I'm not asking you to say, but you know, I don't know. I think your
A
questions
lot
are
of the
fair.
guys, they be wanting to know details and stuff like, oh, do she really pay Dominican dues, or do she, you know what I'm saying? I
Oh
don't
my
want to get
God. I
into
mean,
all of your personal stuff. And you know,
well, first,
man,
I think that's like highly inappropriate to ask somebody about their personals, like their sex life. What kind of viewer is that? Like, what kind of show do they need to go someplace else and talk to somebody else? I mean, that's not the kind of woman I am. I don't care if that's considered a hard question. I think that's ridiculous and abusing the privilege of having me on the show. So thank you for not stooping to that level. But I feel like the questions you asked were relevant to what we're talking about. If we're talking about a video about prostitution, then let's talk about that. What I do in my personal life is nobody's business. What you do in your life, what anybody, what the viewers do in their lives, is their personal business. Whether they're having sex with prostitutes or whatever it is, I don't see why that's meaning that the question is hard. I think that's a question that's like obnoxious and irresponsible, frankly. So, you know, I'll leave
you
it
know
at
how it
that.
is, man. The internet loves drama.
There's all kinds of interesting people on the internet. That's true. But
So
for those
what's
of you
your
who are
last
interested in
words?
my last words, that for those of you who are interested in some interesting content, not just about prostitution, but about life in the Dominican Republic from all aspects, I would encourage you to just check out my channel, see what you think, leave some feedback. If you like it, you don't like it, you want to see something in particular, I do respond to people who comment, and I'd love to have you subscribers. I'm also trying to get to 1,000, as Jay said, because then you can live stream. I think these kinds of live stream chats are really interesting because you can get on the spot commentary, and you can, if you want to ask a hard question, you ask a hard question. If I tell you, fuck off, excuse me, because your question's obnoxious, then you run that risk. But I try to be a lady. That's not how I roll. That's not who I am. I try to be respectful. And I agree with you, Richie. I think respect needs to be due, just period, just as human beings.
Right.
So
Right.
hope you guys check me out. And again, thanks for the time.
Kelly, subscribe.
Subscribe to his page.
Thank you. I'll go right now. Thank you. No, don't worry. I'm not going to forget about you. I look forward to seeing you in February. It'll be fun.
All right. Hey, before y'all leave, it's 54 people in here. 52 now.
I ain't leaving. I'm good. But I know the ladies got to go.
Listen. Hit the like button. All right. Now I'm about to put a link in the chat to Andre's Love Cross the Border. I want you to check him out too, Freeislandgirl. And when y'all get in there, just say Richie Rich sent me. Please, everybody just go over there. Even if you don't watch, just go over there to his live and say, hey, Richie Rich sent me. I'm gonna leave the link right here. Just copy it. Go over there and check him out. You know, you don't have to be looking for love. You know, you can love the borders you cross. Just go over there and check him out. And just tell him Richie Rich sent you.
I like that one.
And y'all have a good night. Peace.
Bye, you guys too. Bye-bye.